Hi friends, today we are going to discuss with an important accounting standard AS2. For AS2, in every examinations we got at least 5 marks from the AS2. And it is a very important standard and it is very easy also. So valuation of inventory. So what is meant by the valuation of inventory? So inventory means a finished good and a raw material, and third it will be work in progress. Actually, this inventories and all we should be represented in the balance sheet. So in the asset side we will represent this is the inventory. So that time we should be represented with the correct amount. Okay. So and it should be not overstated and understated. It should be the balanced one. For that we have this inventory. So how to valuation of inventory is taught by this standard. So before going to this one, we just try to learn what is the inventory. So inventory means, for example, I have given an industry. So for this industry, cloth industry. In this cloth industry, we purchase cottons and we will use threads, missions to make a cloth. Now you can see here cotton is a raw material for us, and whatever you are using, we are using this the consumables we are using for these cottons, and to make the finished good was cloth. So now what will happen at end of the day, we will produce 1,000 finished goods. Then end of the day only 700 was sold. So this remaining 300, the remaining 300 is to be left, and this 300 is an unsold stock and we call as a inventory, and this is a closing stock and we call as it's a inventory to this business. So for this valuation we will use the AS2. So now inventory means finished good, the first one you understand, and the second one, when you come to the raw materials, there is a one business which is take a raw materials for the resales. They just did not done this finished goods process and all. They will take this raw materials and in here stage only they will sell. If anything raw materials left is also it's became a closing stock for this business. Then come to here, we will use a consumables and all. And what will happen at the one stage first the raw materials, consumables and finished goods. Now this stage we called as a raw materials and this stage we called as a finished goods. But there is a one stage which is a neither raw materials and nor a finished good, that we called as a work in progress. It's yet to be ready to finished good, but this stage it's still in the progress. So that's why we called as a work in progress, and this is also we consider as a inventory. And for this also we will use for AS2. And for the clear cut view, I can tell you AS2 means, first you can see it's an ordinary course of the business or not. For the AS2, as per you want to identify as an inventory, the first you have to see that business. You have to see in the business point of view. For example, for the cloth manufacturer, cloth is the inventory. So it should be the sale in the ordinary course of the business. Suppose cloth, if something, cars, furnitures, so this and all is not a inventory because it's not in the ordinary course of the business. So in the point of the business, we should see that it was an inventory or not. For the inventory or not, what is the condition? It should be the ordinary course of the business. It should be the normal course of the business. So as per this inventory, we have here definition. It is a sale in the ordinary course of the business, and some process of production, nothing but a work in progress and all, and consumables. So this is a finished good, for this is a raw materials, and this is the consumables, nothing but as work in progress. So the three we consider as a inventory. The definition was cleared. Inventory means it's an ordinary course in the business, and it's a process of production of such a sales and consumption of the such a production of the goods and services. Now we understand the definition for the AS2, and I told that we should see in the point of the business. So we should see the point of the business and see whether it was a normal course of the business or not. But there is some exceptions, so that will not consider as a inventories. For that I will give you the small one example. Suppose it's a construction business. In the point of builders, they will purchase the buildings, they will construct the buildings, and they will sell. So they are doing normal ordinary course of the business. They are purchasing buildings and they are construction buildings and they are selling buildings, or the inventory to them. So as we apply this AS2 for this, can we apply AS to these buildings? No, because why? We have a separate standard for these constructions of the buildings and all. So there, for the constructions and all, AS2 will not apply. And the same thing, some services. Suppose in these constructions only, the builder has given the tiles work and in interior designs to the some other persons to do that. So it's like a services. He is the main person, and for additional services, and he is giving to the another person. So can we use AS2 for these services and all? No. For the services and all, for the revenues and all, we have a separate standard called AS9. So here also we are unable to use AS2. The first one is construction of contracts. We are not using the AS2, and some services and all, we are not using AS2. We have here AS9, and for here we have a AS7. And there is another area also where we not use the AS2. For example, in the investor and the trader point of view, suppose there is shares and debentures. The trader is purchasing these shares and debentures and he was selling. So it was an ordinary course of his business, and from his point of view, when you see here, we can say that it was an inventory. But can we apply AS2 here? No, because these are the investment. From the investor point of view, it was an investment. For the trader point of view, it was a business. So for this, we are not using the AS2, we are using AS13. And the last one, we have a livestock, agricultural, forest products and all, we are not using the AS2 because here we are using only net realizable value only. So we are not using any standards, we are using net realizable value. For example, I can give you one example. Suppose cows and all, these are the living stocks, right? So cows and all, if you take cows and all, so initially we purchase 1-2 cows, so then we will spend some 20,000, and for this year end they will give you multiple bursts and all. After that it will become 2 is became to 5. So now at the end of the day we should value this one. So when we see the values, we have how many? We have a 5 and value will be 20,000. Is it correct? No. So because as per our point of view it was correct, because only we purchased a 2, that is a cost 20, and whatever this 3, no, 3 will no cost. It has no cost, and for the total 5 it will be there. Now it was only 20. So that for that we are not using the AS2. What we are doing when we are selling this 5, I think we will got some 40,000. So this we will mention as a net eligible value. So we will take consideration for this one, not this one. So for here also AS2 is not applicable. So the valuation of inventory. Inventory means raw materials, finished goods and work in progress. I given the examples also. The raw materials which are used for the productions, and the final product we called as a finished goods, and whatever middle we are using, this is a work in progress, and this 3 we are using the AS2. But for the first point, for the sale in the ordinary course of business, from here I given some exceptions. Even though it was a sale in the ordinary course of business, we have to check the nature of the business. Exceptions is there. So from the builder point of view, the buildings are the inventories, but we are not considered because it has some separate standard AS7. So AS2 is not applicable for the constructions and all. And from the shares and debentures also we have a separate standard. From the trader point of view, it was a sale in the ordinary course of the business, but we are not apply because we have separate standard AS13. And some part of the services in the building only we are hiring for the another persons to the part of the services. There also we are not apply the AS2. So we have a AS9 and some living stocks and all. So even though from the farmer point of view it was a ordinary course of the business only, he was purchasing the cows and he was selling, but we are not applying the AS2. Why? Because here cost concept was different. When you are purchasing very less, so too, but for the multiple births and it was growing and all, and it became 5, so that time it is not accurate cost. So that's why we are that time we will follow only net eligible value, so we are not apply this to them there only. So totally 5 exceptions for this. And okay, now we discussed what is the value and value of valuation of inventories and all. Now we will discuss the how to value and all. So for this we know raw materials, finished goods, work in progress and all. This and all we have inventories. Now how we can value this one? For raw materials, we will value cost or replacement cost. I will tell you what is a cost and replacement cost. So before going to there, and we have some common topic. This is finished goods and work in progress. First we will check this cost or net eligible value. Whichever is lower we will take here. So finished goods and work in progress, whichever lower we will take that value. First we will check cost and NRV. Cost and NRV. Whichever is lower we will take consideration for this one. How to calculate the cost and how to calculate the NRV. See, first of all, cost means purchase cost, direct cost, and other cost which is necessary to bring the inventory to the present location and condition. So other cost which is ready to make the finished goods to the available in the market. So up to that we will consider, and we will not consider the sellings and all because it was the inventory we are talking about, the inventory. So other cost only we will take. So in this purchase, whatever the purchase cost, direct expenses means whatever we put for the direct expenses, and other cost means